talking with me again. It's always a pleasure.
Of course. Thank you. Absolutely. Please. My pleasure.
Yay! Yay! And congrats on the new season. So here we go.
Thank you.
Starts October 1st, right?
That's right. It's coming up, just in a couple of days. It seems so far away when everyone's talking about it. And then next thing you know, it's just around the corner.
Then boom, here it comes. And okay, so I'll launch to the first question, I guess. What was your favorite place to investigate this season and why?
Ooh, that's a great question. So far, there has been one place that we actually just recently finished that has been a bucket list place for all of us for quite some time. But sadly, I haven't been given the green light to release the name of that particular location.
Man.
So I will tell you this, out of the places that we have done and coming up, it would honestly be quite hard to pick an absolute favorite. But the episode that does air on Saturday is the Pensacola Lighthouse in Pensacola, Florida. And that was actually quite special for a lot of different reasons. Had a great investigation, had a tremendous amount of fun. But I was able to, really confront some things and have some experiences there that were quite profound. We had some people, some guests with us, Amy and Adam, and it's always great when they can join us. Chris Williams was there, and we had just an absolute blast at that location, and it sticks out to me as one that's pretty awesome. I think you'll like that one for sure.
Oh, that's a good answer, and it's a good two-part answer because we have something to look forward to coming up.
Well, I started to say it, and then I was like, whoa. We're not really supposed to say, not yet anyway.
Not yet.
Yeah. But it was, I think when people see it, this coming one at Pensacola Lighthouse, really awesome. And lighthouses have always been good to us for whatever reason. Maybe it's the energy, Yeah, I always feel like, lighthouse work and the lighthouse keepers, it's such a, and not necessarily emotional, but a job that they really have to, I guess it is emotional. They have to be very dedicated to it. They live at the lighthouse. They tend it every couple hours. They don't get to sleep for 8 hours in a row. Every couple hours they're having to get out there, and they do it for years and years. They become, I think, quite attached, probably emotionally, maybe even physically. But we'll see.
Oh, that's a good point. And yeah, you guys do. The lighthouses are generally pretty interesting, so that's good. So we have another good lighthouse ghost hunters coming up. Woohoo!
Yeah, Pensacola.
And I have another question, but it might be the same thing where I can't say exactly right now, but which location surprised you the most this season?
Ooh. We did a location just, I want to say it in the beginning of the summer, and not much was happening. It was part jailhouse, part, reformed, became a restaurant and a pub at one point, but started as the old jailhouse, the town's jailhouse. And it's, from the turn of the century era. But not much was happening. And we were sort of like, hey, this place has such a history. And the reports were literally coming from when the jail was still open as a jail. At the turn of the century, we found newspaper articles where they're actually talking about the, ghosts and apparitions and all of this. Cool. And so we said that there's no way, we're here for such a long period of time. as you know, in this field, it's never long enough, you know. So, but for us, we were there for quite some time, so we decided to turn up the heat a little bit. And when I say turn up the heat, I don't mean we started, you know, provoking and going crazy, but we really started to implement a lot of different techniques and really decided to, you know, dig into the history and see if there's anything we missed, because a lot of times there are clues in the history that end up working as a trigger that you didn't realize was in the first place, you know. And I think we found all of the things that we needed, because right away, or not right away, but soon after we started implementing these other techniques, our last few days at this location were some of the most active we'd ever had. So that was really cool and sort of took me by surprise, because I thought we were going to leave that one. And, you know, from watching our show, there are times when we go in and we don't find anything. You know, we really don't. But it does, because we're paranormal investigators, it does bum us out. You know, we leave there kind of like, oh, man, what, you know, or sometimes we may think we didn't. Yeah, exactly. So luckily we didn't leave there, you know, feeling that way. But that was a really cool investigation for us.
Oh, and that's at a jail. Okay, so we've got the lighthouse and a jail now. So that's really good. And then speaking, you kind of alluded to this, that this season you get to investigate with your former Ghost Hunter alums, Amy Bruni and Adam Berry, and then there's other stars like the Ghost Brothers and Steve Shippy. But there's a really, I mean, it surprised me, because I would not have in a million years ever picked this for a guest host, a guest investigator with you guys, Johnny Weir. So what do you think about ghost hunting with an Olympic ice skater? Did you ever think that would happen?
That's a good, you know, I don't think any of us going into, you know, what we do for, think, you know, that Olympians or Olympic skaters and are going to really be that much interested in what we do. But apparently there is quite a connection. We've had quite a lot of athletes on our show in the past. You know, notoriously, we've had wrestlers on our live shows and that sort of thing. But yeah, when he came, you know, he has a deep interest in what we do and is in the paranormal world, and we were able to make it work. And quite honestly, he was great. So much fun to be around. He really was there to learn and expand his, you know, horizons in terms of his spirituality. I think he had some questions, you know, that he wanted answered for himself in terms of spirituality. But it was great fun having him there. And, you know, he actually implemented a few techniques of his own that took me by surprise. I said, well, gosh, you know, he'd just come out and say, hey, you know, maybe we're not, you know, dealing with the person who passed away here. Maybe we're dealing with the person that was in love with who, you know, maybe that, and you just, you know, his perspective was a little different with certain scenarios that made it really, really awesome. He was cool.
Oh man, that's awesome. And that was going to actually be one of my questions. It's like a follow-up, like, was there anything he added that was a little bit different? Because he's not, you know, the typical sort of, you know, guest, you guys. And you went right there. So that's awesome.
For sure. You know, one of the great things about having, you know, somebody join us who may not be in the field is they always have a different way of looking at it. They'll say something that, you know, or want to go down a line of questioning, or, you know, bring up a trigger or something that you didn't quite realize or you didn't even, you know, think of or whatnot. And it's always a treat to have those kind of people around. Of course, they need to be with people, you know, who know what they're doing and have protocols and procedures so things just don't get haywire. But they always offer a fresh perspective. They think outside of the box, to use a, you know, a cliche term, but they do, because they have no, you know, rigid guideline as to what paranormal investigating is.
That's awesome. And that's how I always feel when I watch you guys. I'm like, oh, that's a good thing. I never would have even thought to ask or do or try. So it's funny that that kind of the table flipped on you guys with that.
Yep. He was actually a lot of fun.
That's cool. And that one is, I don't know how to say it. Is it Osterhout Free Library?
I think, the Osterhout. Yeah, I think you did get it right. To be honest, though, don't quote me because we go to so many places. There are times that I have to refresh my own memory, and but I do believe it was Ooster. See how I'm already forgetting.
Yeah, I did Wilkes Barre though, so it'll be so. We've got Lighthouse, library, jail. I know there's a haunted mansion, I think, from the trailer that you guys also are going to. You're covering a lot of bases this season again.
Yeah, we we'll wherever there are ghosts, we'll be there. So if people claim their place is haunted, I mean, as long as it makes sense. We can't. We do have a rigid guideline and things like that. But if people really do need help, we're going to get there. And
you're there, yeah.
Private residents, exactly, and private residences, we still go to those as much as we can, and you'll see a few of those this season as well, where we're at somebody's home, just really helping them out with what's going on and trying to make them feel safe in their home. But not every problem can be solved. Sometimes we're left scratching our heads, and those people are still left scared. We need to figure.
But I bet they get a little comfort, and you went somewhere that I was going to ask that too. So it's like you're reading my mind, like what's coming next. But I was going to say, at least you get, a little bit of comfort from you guys coming in and just knowing, having somebody sometimes just listen to you brings a lot of comfort too. So it's cool that you guys can do that.
Sure, absolutely. And even just listening to somebody who believes in what they're saying, they can tell a bunch of people, and they'll always get a bit of a side eye,
Yeah.
But for us, not that we believe in everything, but we'll at least listen with an open mind. We don't think, this person is just having a hallucination.
A moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which they might be, but.
But at least you listen. You guys you're very good at that. And then, let's see. Here, I guess I'll kind of say this one too. In the trailer kind of alludes to this, and this might be one of the things you can't say for fear of spoiling anything. So just yes or no is fine if that's all you can do. But was there anything new you learned from any of the locations this season, or that you've never had happen before?
Well, yeah, actually, we were able to communicate with someone, an energy. And this happened more than once. We're just implementing a technique. We're able to actually locate a specific spot in a house, or in a location. For instance, we weren't able to figure out where this gentleman's office was, and through some direct communication, we ended up in this room that was kind of like just hidden on its own. Didn't really, not a standout room. Certainly didn't look like an office, but we did find some paperwork in that room that led us to believe that it probably was the office where, and what's important about that is that's where we wanted to spend a good chunk of time investigating, and we just didn't know which room it was. We didn't know where to focus our energy at that point. And so, our technique leading us to that room, and then finding that there were a few documents in there, and actually an old, I think it was, I'm having a hard time remembering, but I think it was an old check or something. So we were able to actually investigate that area as we wanted to, because we were pretty sure at that point that it was the office.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, so that's a pretty cool something to look forward to. And okay, so I'll end here. I don't want to hog up all your time today, but
Oh, goodness.
besides all of them, in your opinion, what's the must-watch episode this season?
You know, I would say we
I don't like to make it easy on you.
Well, you know, it's hard because we're still actively filming part season 2, and so we are still filming right now. So,
oh my gosh,
you know, to say we have maybe 4 or 5 left to do for the season. So, you know, to know exactly, but I would say so far, the Coliseum was really something else. We did a Coliseum with Steve Shippy. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that episode. And the Lighthouse on Saturday. That one really, I think, is a standout for the season.
Ooh, okay. So we're going to start off the season with a bang. That's awesome.
Yeah, yep, I think so.
Cool.
Really cool.
I'm so excited to talk to you again, and thank you so much for taking some time to speak with me about Ghost Hunter Season 2.
Of course, thank you.